let's go down to South Beach and soak up some of that vitamin D and talk about Jaylen Waddle, who, according to the Miami Herald, has worked with Tua all off season to rectify some of the chemistry issues that they had last year. So knowing that is already in play, and they're trying to establish that strong rapport that we've seen previously, not so much in 2024, but it could be resuscitated in 2025. Jaylen Waddle right now, the over-under set at 875.5 receiving yards at a minus 110 juice either direction. So, Horvat, I ask you, over or under Waddle, 875.5 receiving yards this fall?
Yeah, this is actually one that I bet, man. I think this number is way short. I mean, he had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons to begin his career. I know last year was a down year, only 744 yards, 2 touchdowns, but a lot of that had to do with the quarterback situation. Tua was concussed. You also have this Tyreek Hill situation. You know, is he going to make it through an entire season? And also, Jonnu Smith's gone now, so Waddle's probably going to be getting more snaps from the slot. He'll see a lot of those easy targets. You know, we got to remember that he had the most yards per route run in college since 2020. So he could be a yak monster this season. I think this number is way short. I think he finishes with at least 1,000 receiving yards this year.
I concur with you, Captain. It's all about him staying upright and out of the infirmary, right? If he's going to even play the amount of games he played last season, 15, I think he's going to sail past this number. I think it's going to be well in the 900s, if not into quadruple digits and over the 1,000-yard mark. Mike Clay at ESPN's got it projected for 124 targets, 88 catches, 1,080 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's got a wide receiver 28 for fantasy purposes. He's been over this number in 3 of his last 4 years. The only time went under was last season. He only played 15 games, targeted a mere 83 times, 58 catches for 744 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I think the target share is going to rise because you mentioned Jonnu Smith out of the mix. He was number 13 in catchable target rate. So Tua was actually delivering the ball to him crisply and accurately with consistency. Uncharacteristically, he was only number 41 in total yak. But, and this is the key, he was number 14 in route win percentage. So he's getting the separation. He's getting the breathing room. So an increase in target share, I think he gets back on track. And the defense, kind of suspect there. So could get involved in some shootout affairs. I like the over as well. Jaylen Waddle, 875.5 receiving yards at a minus 110 juice. All right, let's go to a guy we asked about. You did. With Brandon Funston in our last segment from The Athletic on the CMC Football Factory, Christian McCaffrey. It's 950.5 rush yards, minus 110 either way. And again, as you already discussed, according to local reports, showing explosiveness right now in some of the summer workouts, and hopefully that'll carry over into training camp, and it gets back to business after that bilateral Achilles tendonitis. So all that coursing through your cerebral cortex, my man. Christian McCaffrey, over under 950 rush yards this season.
Maybe I'm just being optimistic here, but I would hammer the over here, and I would still draft him in fantasy, right? I think he's going to stay healthy. Yeah, you worry about last year only playing 4 games. The injury concerns really every season. Also the age. He's going to be 29 years old when the season begins. But you know when he's out there and he's going to be healthy, most likely we hope to start the season. We didn't even know he was going to be injured last year, week 1 against the Jets. But since being traded to San Francisco, he averages 20.4 touches per game, 23.3 fantasy points per game. So I'm taking the over on the rushing yards. I'm still taking him in fantasy. Kyle Shanahan loves him. Even in the 4 games that he played last year at 70%. He got the ball a ton. So, yeah, I think McCaffrey rushes for at least 1,100 yards if he stays healthy.
I think he's going to storm back with a vengeance. I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to prove, and he could do this in 15 games. He could miss a couple of games and still achieve the over on this. I think he's going to crack 1,000 with somewhat relative ease. I mean, Mike Clay concurs with us in that belief. He's got a projected for 258 carries, 1,176 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, 72 catches, 617 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Got him RB3 in fantasy. Got to remember a couple of years ago, he ran for 1,459. This number's at 950.5. It's all contingent on health And again, if he even misses a couple of games, I think he's going to hit the over. He's got a plus offensive line. I am a buyer in the CMC Football Factory. Not going to make you sweat. I think he's going to drop a platinum hit and a bounce back season. So love that over 950.5 rush yards at a -110. Let's go to Kyren Williams. Talked about him last week. 1,000.5 rush yards, -115 on the over, -105 on the under. Also, according to local reports, looking more explosive as well. So again, with all that info, you're digesting it, taking it down. What are your thoughts? Kyren Williams, over or under 1,000.5 rush yards this year?
Yeah, big number, but I'm way over, man, right? Like Sean McVay loves his workhorse backs, and that's why I don't know how much we're going to see of Blake Corum. They did also draft Jarquez Hunter, who I really like, averaged 6.1 yards per carry in college. Granted, this is the pros. Had a big year last year. You know, he doesn't really give you like the long runs, at least he didn't last year, but he's going to get 20 to 25 touches per game. And he's going to catch balls out of the backfield. But, like, you know, just talking this prop right here, I would go over. I think at least 1,200 yards again this season.
You know what? Kenny, get the sounder ready. Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have. I'm taking the over. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Thanks some cash for Kyren Williams. Look, he's an old school running back. You know, he's like from the Slick Rick era of hip hop, right? That's how far back he goes in terms of the volume that he is cranking right now. He's getting like 325 touches on the ground. He had, 316 last year, and I think he's going to get back to that territory. Look at Mike Clay, 312 projected carries, 1,376 is Clay's projection with 8 dozen touchdowns. One of the true kings of consistency and fantasy football is on Kyren Williams, because it's all about the workload, and he is a pack mule. 82.8% of the opportunity share is what he registered last year. Yes, the advanced metrics rather unsightly. In yards created per touch, only RB 52. Yak per attempt, only RB 42. But because the huge volume, he was top 10 in total missed tackles force. I like the offensive environment. Devontae Adams out part of the mix, really lightening a lot of those fronts. And again, as long as he stays upright, he's got to get another 300 carries. Easily should cruise by this if he stays relatively healthy this year. Give me the over. Kyren Williams as well, 1,000.5 rush yards at a -115 juice. Go to Marvin Mims of the Denver Broncos. 525 receiving yards is the line. That's it. -115 either direction. According to local reports at Mile High City, Sean Payton believes he could emerge as the WR2 in this offense, with Cortland Sutton being the WR1. Has spent high draft capital on the former ILL standout there. And Pat Bryant, Vele is also there. But Mims is interesting because he's got a lot of explosiveness. So Horvat, again, with all that information in hand, over or under, are you making some money on Marvin Mims at 525 receiving yards? Again, -115 either way.
So I lean over, man. The first 9 weeks of the season, he only had 7 receptions. He only also played 22% of their snaps through week 9. Then that bumped up 31.7% from week 10 on. The target share went from 5.1% over the first 9 weeks to 13.2%. So obviously, picked up a bigger role in the offense. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is they do sign Evan Ingram. I know he's a tight end, but he's probably going to steal away some targets. And I really like Pat Bryant. I think there's a reason why they took him in the 3rd round, so that's the only thing that concerns me, but I do lean over.
Oh, I'm going to take the over. I think he's going to crack 600 yards this year. I mean, the advanced profile is outstanding. He was number 18 in total yak last season, number 4 in yards per route run, number 1, numero uno in average yards of separation per target among qualifying wide receivers, and numero dos in fantasy points per route run. Mims, somebody that, in the 11th hour, the beer fuzzy rounds of your fantasy draft, like a 12-team or deeper league, you want to draft and stash him. He's going to be a roller coaster ride. I mean, some weeks he'll have like 1 catch for 10 yards. Other weeks he'll have like 4 catches for 75 and a touchdown. So maximize the matchups. But in terms of this prop, I think he cashes the over on 525 receiving yards. All right, last certainly not least, got a lot of people talking about I'm involved in my Scott Fitch draft. He gets premium points for IDP, specifically for him, however many snaps he plays on the defensive end. We have heard that the expectation is, according to The Athletic and the local man walking the beat in Jacksonville, that Travis Hunter is going to have an offensive-heavy start to this season. That's what was reported over the weekend. The over-under is set at 750.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on the over, minus 115 on the under. What are your thoughts on Travis Hunter? Again, 750.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, big number for a rookie, man, but there's a reason why, Jacksonville moved up to grab him, right? So I think that I'm going to hammer the over here. You worry how much is he going to play on the offensive side of the ball? I think primarily he's going to be a wide receiver, and maybe he plays some third downs on defense. I think that's the way that it probably ends up working out through an 18-game season. I think he's going to catch a ton of screens. He's going to be, like a yak god this season. So over for me on Travis Hunter. That is a big number.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, he's got the one-on-one separation skills to defeat any defender in the league. I can do that outside the numbers, but you're right. He is going to be nasty, dirty worker underneath. Give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. You look at Mike Clay, he's got a projected for 967 receiving yards, wide receiver 35 in fantasy. I am buying on Travis Hunter.